Alright, hello everybody. We're doing a little bit of Starfinder in this event zone. Alright, hello switch everybody. We're doing a little bit of Starfinder. Cool, I can be heard. That is what's important. I am showing the wrong screen. Player view. There we go. Alright, so I had received a question from someone who had watched one of the videos. And now I can't find it. Give me just a second here. I was looking to see. Wanted to read the question specifically. Hey, Spence, Atomic Hero Squad, welcome. Appreciate you stopping by real quick. Basically, he said that he was running a biohacker, and he had questions about the medicine and using medicine skill. Paizo, while they make tremendous games, some of their ease of play could be improved, and so let's take a look at the medicine skill real quick. So you'll find in Fantasy Grounds that there are usually multiple ways of doing the same thing. So you want to find out what the specifics of medicine is. One way is to go here to your character sheet, click on the skills tab, and click on the little symbol next to the word medicine, and it pops up the medicine skill. You can then click on each of these different things. So say, for example, treat deadly wounds, and it tells you exactly what you need to do to treat deadly wounds using the medicine skill. Another way of doing it is going over here underneath character, and where it says skills, it brings up the list of skills, and these links are very similar to these links. Click medicine, and there you go. Yeah, the same thing we just looked at. Gives you an idea of what the skill does. So, for example, athletics, it talks about jumping, swimming, and climbing. You want to know the specifics on that? That's where they are. You can also go to the core rulebook here, again, either under modules or under books. Open up the core rulebook, and you'll see here medicine under skills. There's medicine, and it shows you what the actual core rulebook says regarding that particular skill. So lots of different ways to get to the same result. So when you first look at the medicine skill, say you want somebody is dying. They've gone down to 0 hit points. There are ways for them to come back. Let's say you want to help them. That is first aid. As a standard action, you can use medicine. Let me increase the size of my screen, since we're going to be reading some of these. There we go. Not sure why it's changed to this. Let's go back to medicine. As a standard action, you can use medicine to stop bleed, damage, or administer first aid. The DC of this check is 15. Nice. Straightforward. If you succeed, this is what happens. And you can attempt the first aid task untrained, but you cannot take a 20 on a medicine check. Say you want to treat deadly wounds. You use medicine to restore hit points to a living wounded creature. This takes 1 minute, and the DC is based on the medical equipment used. Okay, so if you succeed by 15 or more, your intelligence modifier is added to that check. Okay, well, what about treating drugs or poison? Treating poison. You can use medicine to treat a drug to poison creatures. This requires a med kit, a medical lab, or a medical bay. If your result exceeds the DC, what is the DC? So I can understand the confusion. I've had the confusion myself on medicine, especially in the middle of stuff that's going on, middle of combat. You don't want to slow down the game, look up all these rules. You would think, why can't I find it right here where it talks about the skills? So, in Fantasy Grounds, by the way, you can also pull out these things. So, where it says, going back to medicine, right here, you can click on this, and it's now its own window. And say you're going to be using medicine a lot. So, if you're a biohacker, you're a mystic, you're the soldier who's the only one who's trained in medicine in your party, and so you're like the battle medic, the field medic. Make sure you drop this down into one of your hotkeys. You can drag this right here, boom, into your hotkey, and you'll have access to it whenever you need it. So, finding the technological items descriptions in the core rulebook, here's the gear. So, remember it says medical gear allows you to attempt medicine checks and determine the DC of medicine checks to treat deadly wounds. See the medicine skill on page 143 for more information, which we just did, which has no more information about that. But here is a basic medkit. The medkit tells you what's in it. Medkit allows you to attempt a DC 25 medicine check to treat deadly wounds. So then you have to go back to your medicine skill to get the actual specifics of how it works, how many hit points are healed, and that type of thing. So you go here and here. Let's go the other route. Let's look at the gear itself. So here's the gear. Let's look at a med kit. This is an advanced one. Let's look at a med patch, which we haven't looked at yet. Means I have it open already. Here it is, med patch. The medical gear allows you to talks about medical gear in general. The med patch is a simple all-in-one disposable medical device. A med patch allows you to attempt a medicine check untrained with a plus 10 bonus, but only for first aid, long-term stability, treat disease, drugs, or poison tests. So it cannot be used for treating deadly wounds, for example. So as you can see, you can go through the gear, but if you don't have the gear, you're looking what to buy, again, it can be a little tricky. So here in the item descriptions in the core rulebook, it has everything broken down and what works and what doesn't work. As far as, because it's all under medical gear here. Advanced medkit, basic medkit, medical lab, med patch, and spray flesh are the things that you use to help some other people. One thing that I have found that has helped me a lot is a chart. So this is called, I'm not sure why that's being weird. Hold on. Let me close this because it's being stupid. Clicking too fast. Sorry, guys. Campaign images. Medicine skill chart. There we go. Okay. This is made by a person named Jimble. Jimble's cheat sheet for a Starfinder. If you do a Google search for that, uh, you can find it. I think it was $2, something like that. $1.50, something. It was a very reasonable price on Reddit, I believe it was. I don't remember exactly where I downloaded it from. Drake Takes, welcome. But this is amazing. So remember we were talking, you have to have the skill, you have to have the equipment, you have to pull it up in these books or the skills chart. This has it all broken down for you very easily. Uh, and again, because it's an image and it's fancy ground, you can drag this to your hotkey. So let's say treat deadly wounds is the way to get back hit points besides healing serums or spells. So treat deadly wounds is under this column. If you don't have any medical equipment, can you do it? No. You have to have some sort of equipment. Can you do it with a med patch? No. It is also consumable. It points out right here. A med patch is a use once and it goes away. A basic med kit, an advanced med kit, you keep and you can use multiple times. If you do have a med kit, then the difficulty check is a 25 medicine check. And it tells you right here you get back 1 hit point of the target's level once in a 24-hour period, one time a day. It then cannot be done by anybody else either. It's not per person or anything else. It's once a day. You can help your other player. And if you get 30 or more, you also add your intelligence modifier to the number of hit points they get back. Same thing with spray flesh. The difference is, one, this is consumable. So once you use the spray flesh, it's gone. But you can then use one more time beyond the daily limit. So you can treat deadly wounds twice if you're using spray flesh. Mass Medkit makes it easier, so it's a DC 20. 5 points easier to do it. If you let your dog Astral lick it, does that count as equipment? It does not. Nope. It does clean it a little bit, so you less chance of disease, but it does not count as equipment. And then the advanced med kit makes it easier. And again, it tells you exactly what you can do. Your medical lab allows you to do it twice in a day. So the point is not to memorize all this table. The point is to have access to this table. If you can't find Jimbo's cheat sheet for Starfinder, you can also build one yourself and put it in like the notes. And so if you don't have this at all, your best route to go is using the gear itself. So the med kit. So he has an advanced med kit, and it tells you here within the med kit, more advanced specialized training. The DC to treat deadly wounds is only 20, and you get a +2 bonus to medicine checks to treat drugs, diseases, and poisons. So if you use the same thing like with the med patch, it tells you med patch allows you to take a medicine check untrained with +10 circumstance bonus for these 3 things. So again, once you have figured it all out, then your best way to go is to use the gear. Now, Drake was talking about a drone. Yes, they do have drones who can count as, you can put things in your drone that will count as a basic med kit. Or if you're high enough level and have enough money, you can also have something in your drone that counts as an advanced med kit. So yes, that would work too. So the last thing I want to touch on real quick before I gotta go is the biohacker. So the biohacker, since he was asking about that specifically because he says he plays one, has what's called a custom micro lab, and it has a whole lot of information about all these different things you can do. Regarding the medicine skill, there's a couple things I just want to point out. It's not as confusing as it may sound. It says your custom micro lab counts as a basic med kit. So simple as that. It does the same thing as a basic med kit. Has the same DC, which is 25 to treat wounds, and so it's like having a basic med kit. You can do 15 first aid with a DC 15, long term stability, treat deadly wounds, treat disease, drugs, or poison. Right here. Very simple. When you get high enough, at 5th level, your micro lab can function as an advanced med kit. He purchased one, or they found one, or either one. So all of your stuff goes down. You can now do long term care, and your DCs go down for the other things that are affected. Um, and like it says here, you get a +2 bonus when you're trying to treat disease, drugs, or poisons. The other cool thing about a lab, a custom micro lab, is that you can do some of these things at range. So it says if okay, so it doesn't talk about it here. So there are some, like most classes in Starfinder, there are some specialties and specialty hacks and special tricks you can get as you level up. One of them, well, some of these abilities you get are uh, being able to use the custom micro lab at range, so you can, so he can treat wounds from afar. You don't have to be adjacent to the person. You can do first aid and bring somebody back and stop them from dying, stuff like that, from a distance. That's really the only thing that the biohacker, in regards to the medicine skill, that's the only way that that's affected by the medicine skill, besides the fact that he has insane, he gets pretty high pretty quick, um, with the with his medicine checks. So that is the medicine skill in a nutshell. How do you use it? Um, you want to have the technical items. You go right here, tells you all about the details of this, along with the skills, and you can have those in a couple different ways. Either in the core rulebook under medicine, or in the skills. And this can be accessed from here, where it says character skills, or on your skills page, the symbol will pull this up. As long as you have those two things together, side by side, you can figure it out. Or what I have found to be even better is to use Jimble's cheat sheet for Starfinder, where it has it all laid out for you, with the equipment you have, and then what um, type of task that you're trying to perform with the medicine skill. So hopefully that helped. Um, if you have any other questions, or if there's other skills that you want to deep dive in, Feel free to leave comments. Let me know. Don't forget to like, subscribe, whatever else you do. Enjoy the rest of your day.